Hey, Olive, Arlo, and Frank. Greetings from the living room in Jacksonville Beach. And today, I want to do something a little different than what I usually do. When I'm talking to you guys, I try not to be political. I try to be as neutral as possible. And the reason is I don't want you to grow up to believe what I believe. I want you to grow up to be able to figure out what you believe. So I tend to stay out of politics. You'll know what my politics are because I make them evident, but I try not to dwell on them, and I try not to do an individual video that's solely political. However, in this video today, I want to talk about two things that are bedrock principles for me. And one of them is I am anti-war. What do I mean by that? We don't get in a war unless we're attacked. Now, the way the modern world is we're all in these pacts, NATO and CEDAW and those kind of things. So if you attack one of those members, you attack all of them, and so we're supposed to jump in. And we use that for reasons to get involved in all kinds of crazy wars. Now, World War II, we were attacked. The Japanese attacked us. And then when we declared war on them, the Germans declared war on us. And as soon as somebody declares war on you legally, well, you're in the war, so you're going to fight it one way or another. If you don't fight it, they're just going to attack you and beat you. But after World War II, I really can't think of anything that we got involved with that we should have. That we should have sent our blood and our treasure. And what do I mean by that? Our blood is sending our children off to die in a foreign land, usually for some political purpose. Now, 9/11, that was a little bit different, but I still wouldn't have invaded Iraq, and I probably wouldn't have invaded Afghanistan. I think there were other ways to deal with that. So I'm anti-war, and I've always been anti-war, and I will always be anti-war for the rest of the time I'm left here on earth. But I'm also pro-Israel. The Bible says in Genesis chapter 12, God tells Abraham, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you. I believe that when the United States blesses Israel, that we wind up being prosperous. And when we've not stood by Israel, that we haven't been as prosperous. So if you look at our history, you can make a correlation between those things. I know what you're going to say, that's anecdotal evidence, but doesn't make it necessarily untrue. So, recently Israel was attacked by Hamas from the Gaza Strip and from the West Bank. After that, some rockets were launched from Lebanon, and there are sabers being rattled all over the world. There are U.S. senators telling Iran, you get involved and we're going to bomb all your oil facilities, and yeah, what could go wrong with that? Israel is this tiny little country. It is surrounded by people who hate the Jewish people. There's tons of non-Jews who live in Israel, and they have all the rights of an Israeli citizen. Now, I'm not going to get into the politics of the West Bank and Gaza. That's different. But they're surrounded by enemies. They've been attacked in the late 1960s and the early 1970s. I forget, 2006 maybe? They were attacked. And every time they're attacked, they win. As a matter of fact, sometimes when they win, they double the size of their country. Like they get attacked by a country and then they go, okay, well, we're gonna not just defend ourselves, but we're gonna grab some of your land so we have a buffer against you coming after us in the future. Why does that happen? Well, in Exodus chapter 12, the seminal moment of the Israeli nation, of the Jewish people, they don't think about like, oh yeah, the birth of Abraham or Abraham coming to the promised land or any of that stuff. They don't think about the burning bush in the desert with Moses. The seminal moment was them leaving Egypt and going through the Red Sea. And God tells Moses, you don't have to be afraid because I'm going to fight for you. So it's no surprise if you have God fighting for you that all you have to do is believe that God will do it and believe that, well, you have a part in it too, and that is to ask him for his protection, pray to him. So I wrote down a couple of the Psalms. One from Psalm 121 says, my help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. And the other is, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. This is Psalm 122. May those who love you be secure. May there be peace within your walls and security within your citadels. For the sake of my brothers and friends, I will say, peace be within you. For the sake of the house of the Lord our God, I will seek your prosperity. So, there's a couple things here. The Jewish people have had horrendous things happen in between Psalm 121 and the present day. And I don't understand how Hitler could kill 6 million Jews and that God kept his promise, but somehow he has. Somehow he's kept that promise, although there's a lot of Jewish people that think that he hasn't. And with everything that's happening now, that, oh, he's kept that promise. There's anti-Semitism all over the world. There's a lot of anti-Semitism right here in the United States. Just because you were born a certain way, you're condemned to death. You're treated as a second-class citizen. And it's wrong. It's wrong when Jews do that to Arabs, and it's wrong when anybody else does it to Jews. So I'm not going to get into that political football right now. But he said, for now and evermore, that he would watch over them. And what do? Do we go in there and provide air support? They don't need air support. They have their own air support. But besides that, they have celestial support. There's an army of angels. If you read the Old Testament, time after time again, like things happen, like armies disappear or armies show up that are amazingly strong, and bam, they get routed in the middle of the night. 6 guys go in and make an army of like thousands flee just by holding up these lanterns and pretending they're a bunch of dudes. We don't need to get involved militarily. Now, we should support them. We should support them economically, which we do. We should make sure that the people who are U.S. citizens there are safe, and we should go there and rescue those people from Gaza. And there's still quite a few that are hostage over there that we're trying to get released. We should try to secure more Abraham Accords, and the Abraham Accords are things that have been set up where Israel has made peace agreements with other countries. And so far, those peace agreements are holding up. The countries with the peace agreements aren't the ones that are going after Israel right now. It's other countries that are probably never going to have a peace agreement with the Jewish people. We should be very supportive of things like that. But the last thing that we should do is get involved in another war, send our children to die. Because God's on the throne, and they're his people. And I've been thinking about this song a lot. It's in Hebrew and English, and so I'm going to sing it. It goes one time in Hebrew and then English. So what I'm saying in the first verse in Hebrew, I'm saying in English in the second verse. Hine lo Yanum bekelu ishan lo Yanum velo ishan Hine lo Yanum velo ishan Shomer Israel. He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, slumbers nor sleeps, slumbers nor sleeps. He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, so slumbers or sleeps. Hine lo Yanum velo yishan. Lo Yanum velo yishan, Hine lo Yanum velo yishan, Shomer Israel. Peace out, and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. It's your only job.